Namaste students. Today we will start our Indian economy, the first chapter, Indian economy at the eve of independence. You know, Britishers ruled in India for 200 years. How they ruled in India? They are using East India Company. First they are using East India Company, then the British Parliament. After the 200 years, India became independent on 15 August 1947. What the Britain do? British use the Indian raw material. They are using the raw material, they are using the natural sources from the India. Now, what is the purpose of British? The main purpose of British rule in India was they used Indian economy as a feeder economy for the development of the British economy. They use the Indian economy as a feeder economy for the Britishers. They also exploited the natural resources as well as the human resources. You know, India is a hub of natural resources. India is having so many natural resources, and they also exploited the Indians using their natural resources and the human resources. The main purpose of the Britisher is to drain the wealth of Indian economy for their personal use. They want to, because India is a hub of natural resources, so they drain the wealth of the Indian economy for their personal benefit. Before the Britisher, how was the Indian economy? So, Indian economy before the colonial period. Now, what is the meaning of colonial? Colonial means it is a political and the social relationship between the two countries, in which one country is a ruler and other is a colony. Here, Britain is a ruler and India is a colony. It means before the British come in India, how was the Indian economy? The first feature is prosperous economy. The Indian economy is a prosperous economy. It means Indian economy is a self-dependent economy. We are having the natural resources, so Indian economy is a self-dependent economy. The second feature is agrarian economy. 2/3 of the population are engaged in agriculture sector. And third is well-known handicraft. India is perfect in the handicraft. So Indian economy is a handicraft economy in silk, in cotton. So before the colonial period, India has these three features. They are self-dependent, 2/3 of the populations are engaged in agriculture sector, and they are well known in handicraft product. Now, Indian economy at the eve of independence. At the time of independence, what was the changes in Indian economy? There are so many features. We are using here if I can do. Here I for industrial sector, F for foreign trade, I for infrastructure sector, C is a constant, A for agriculture sector, N is a constant here, D for demographic structure, and O for occupational structure. How are changes in the Indian economy at the eve of independence? These 6 features we will discuss in next one by one. In next video, we will discuss the agriculture sector. You can make a note. You have to see and make your notes as I have written on the blackboard. Now, our next topic is agriculture sector at the eve of independence. 85% of the country population lives in villages, and their livelihood directly or indirectly from the agriculture. Most of the population is engaged in the agriculture sector. and the productivity is law of Indian agriculture. Now, what are the reasons of stagnation of Indian economy? The meaning of stagnation is Indian economy is stable, not is improving, they are going to down. What is the reason? The reason behind the stagnation of Indian economy is, the first is land settlement system. Second is commercialization of agriculture. Third is low level of productivity. And fourth is scarcity of the investment. We will discuss one by one the reasons of stagnation of Indian economy. The first is land revenue system. Under the land revenue system, here Jamindari system is important, but I am talking about the Rayatwadi system and Mahilwadi system is also. What is the meaning of Jamindari system? In a Jamindari system, what will happen? In Jamindari system, Britishers appoint one Indian and farmers, here is the farmers. They are the owner of the land and they said to the Indians, you have to take the ownership from the farmers, and Indians said you have to do your work at the land. So whenever the farmer grow their crops, how much the production on that land, some part of the production is given to the Indian. He is a middleman of the Britishers and the farmers. He is a middleman. So as a middleman, he get the rent and some part is given to the Britisher. Suppose he grow 1 lakh units on the product. 1 of 11 part is given to the Indian and 10 by 11 part is given to the Britisher. Suppose he gives 1000 units to the Indian. The part from 1000 unit, 10,000 unit is given to the Britisher. Only 1000 unit is left for the Indian. He is a middleman. So ultimately most of the rent is going to the Britisher. They exploited the Indians. Britisher exploited the Indians. They are the owner. They are the owner of the land, and they takes the rent from the farmers. In some part of, almost all the part they have to given to the Britisher in the Jamindari system. But in the Rayatwadi system, what was in Rayatwadi system? In Rayatwadi system is same thing, but middleman is deducted from in Rayatwadi system. One is Britisher and one is a farmer. Directly, farmer is paid to the rent to the Britisher. It means that 1000 because he is a middleman. Some part of the rent is gone to the Indians. So Britisher middleman is refused. Now there is no middleman in the Rayatwadi system. And third is Mahilwadi system. What is the meaning of Mahilwadi system? In Mahilwadi system, 2-3 villages are merged and they will make one mahal. 2-3 villages are mixed and same process, from this is a one and they pay the rent to the Britisher. In same process, in Mahilwadi system, 2-3 villages are joined. Suppose 3 villages are joined, they make one mahal. Again they join 2 villages, they again make one mahal. So they have to pay the rent to the Britisher. Here also there is no middleman. So in here Jamindari system is important. Jamindari system, Indian do the work as a middleman, in farmer doing the farming, and some part is given to the Indian and almost all the part is given to the Britisher in the Jamindari system. Second is commercialization of the agriculture. Commercialization of agriculture means we are growing the crops. Before the Britisher, India grow the crop for food crop. Food crop means he is using the crop for their self-subsistence, for their self-consumption. But when Britishers come in India, they want whatever they were saying, the Indian grow their crop. In commercialization means grow the crops to sell in the market. That is a cash crop. कि जो भी आप ब्रिटिशर्स ने जो आपको कहा है उसको आप जो है वो मार्केट में जो है वो प्रोडक्ट को सेल कीजिए. जो ब्रिटिशर whatever the Britisher want, that is that the Indian grow the same. The third is a low level of productivity. We have told the Indian agriculture productivity is low at that time. What is the reason? The reason is low level of technology. Indian low level of technology means we are using old techniques. For using the old techniques, our productivity is low. Why we are using the old technology? Because we are not having a more investment. So Indians are using the old technology. Lack of irrigation facility. India is dependent on the rainfall. Whenever the rainfall came, then there will be a good crop. If rainfall is not came, then there is not a good crop. So there is no facility of irrigations and negligible use of fertilizers. They are not using good quality seeds or fertilizers, so the productivity is a low of Indian economy. And last is scarcity of investment. They are less money, so the investment is low in the Indian economy. Now, while India is divided into two segments, India and Pakistan, on that time, irrigated and highly fertile land went to the Pakistan. And which Pakistan? That is the East Pakistan. Now it is known as New Bangladesh. India's jute goods industry, which are engaged in the world monopoly. World monopoly means single seller and large number of the buyers. India export their goods. India jute industry is very famous at that time. So now they suffered a lack of raw material because highly irrigated and fertile lands went to the Pakistan. कि ज़्यादा हमारी लैंड कहाँ चली गई थी? पाकिस्तान के अंदर. So that the Indian agriculture is a backward. So this is a features of backwardness of Indian agriculture. The first is land revenue system. The second is commercialization. Third is low level of productivity. And fourth is a scarcity of the investment. Now we will discuss our next point, that is the industrial sector. The next feature is industrial sector at the eve of independence. First feature we have discussed the agriculture sector at the eve of independence. Now the second feature is industrial sector at the eve of independence. Now we are talking pre-colonial period. At the pre-colonial period, certain specific goods are enjoyed word monopoly, that is handicraft. Indian handicraft is famous in worldwide. There is a monopoly of the handicraft product. The British want decline the handicraft industry. They want decline the handicraft industry. What they will do? It is India and it is a British. They take raw material at a cheaper rate from the India, very cheap rate. They take the raw material from the India and they sell finished product at higher rate in the India. So the policy of Britisher, twofold policy they are using. Britisher use twofold policy. Rule was enforced. What was the twofold policy? They convert India as a supplier of raw material because they take raw material from India as a cheap rate. And the second, they develop the India as market for Britisher. They sell the finished product in the Indian market at a higher rate. So they develop the market for the British. Next is discriminatory tariff policy. Britishers use discriminatory tariff policy means they are using different tax policies. They are using different tariff policy, tax policy. How they are using the different tax policy? The first is tariff-free export of raw material. They tax raw material from the India, so they tell there is no tariff on the export of raw material. And second is unrestricted entry of British goods. Ki whatever they have to produce, each and every thing is enter in the Indian economy. There is no tax on the British goods. Third is heavy duty on export of Indian product. Heavy duty on export of Indian product, the product which is sell to the other countries except the Britain. कि जो भी ब्रिटेन के अलावा किसी दूसरी कंट्री को गुड्स एक्सपोर्ट की जाती थी तो उसके ऊपर क्या दिया जाता था? हैवी ड्यूटी, हैवी टैक्स इज इम्पोज्ड ऑन द एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ इंडियन प्रोडक्ट विच इज सेल टू द अदर कंट्री एक्सेप्ट द ब्रिटेन. द थर्ड इज high level of frictional and disguised unemployment. Here unemployment is more frictional and disguised employment. What is the meaning of frictional unemployment? When you have to transfer from one job to another job. For sometimes whenever you are leaving a job, for sometimes you are free, that is known as a frictional unemployment. And disguised unemployment means when more people are engaged in the working as they are needed. Suppose we want 10 persons and we are engaged 15 persons, here 5 persons are disguised because they are not affected the productivity. Productivity is same if you are using 10 workers and if you are using 15 workers. Lack of capital goods industries. Lack of capital goods industries. India, most of the goods are import from the other countries. So there is a lack of capital goods industries at that time. If we are not having our capital goods, so that it is affected to our GDP also, that our level of GDP is reduced because raw material is taken by the Britain. We are converting the raw material into finished goods. Almost raw material is used by the Britain. It is also affect the Indian GDP also. Our GDP is a low. Change in the pattern of the demand. The people use the product which is made by the Britain. They sell at less price of their product. So due to changing, they have to change the pattern of the demand. At the time, limited use of the public sector, no use of the public sector. All these features we are taking about one example. Suppose there is one Indian manufacturing industries. Indian thought that they have hired the labor from the outside. They hired the labor from the outside. But whenever the Indian hire the labor outside, the Britisher is they take the penalty to that person. They have given the option to the labor. They can do the work in the British company or as a agriculture. They have given only two options. One is they have to move to the British company and another is a agriculture. Here, two persons are doing a work in the British company and rest of the workers are doing in the agriculture. They are suppose we are taking the labor, 10 labor from the outside, 2 are taken by the Britishers and rest 8 workers are doing the agriculture. So dependence of agriculture is increased. If dependence of agriculture is increased, that is increase the frictional and the disguised unemployment. Now another option, here we are taking about the labor is hired from the outside. Why we are not using Indian labor? The second option is if we are using Indian labor. Now if we are using Indian labor, India's labor is make same product. Same product is made by the Indians, and whatever the India made, the price is same, but they are using where the Indian product is sold. The product is sold in the domestic market or the international market. There are two options. Whatever is produced by the Indians, that is sold into market, that is a domestic market or the international market. In domestic market, what the British do, in domestic market they want to sell their own product in the domestic market. Domestic market में Britishers ने क्या किया? They are using anti-dumping. What is the meaning of anti-dumping? Anti-dumping means कि जितने में उन्होंने गुड्स बनाई है वो उससे लेस प्राइस के अंदर इंडिया के अंदर सेल कर रहे हैं. सपोज कीजिए आपने कोई प्रोडक्ट 30 रुपीज का बनाया, सेम प्रोडक्ट अदर कंट्री ने भी 30 रुपीज का बनाया, लेकिन वो इंडिया के अंदर लेस प्राइस पे सेल कर रहे हैं. दैट इज नोन एज एंटी डंपिंग. सो द इंडियन प्रोडक्ट इज, so international product is purchased by the domestic market. That is a change in the pattern of the demand. Change in the pattern of the demand. They sell their own product in the Indian market. So they want to totally exploit the Indian economy. This is the industrial sector at the eve of independence. The first feature is declining of handicraft industries. The second is discriminatory trade policy. In discriminatory trade policy, they purchase the raw material from India, so it is tariff free, and unrestricted entry of British goods, and heavy duty on the export of Indian product, which is sent to the other country, rest of the Britishers. Then high level of frictional and disguised unemployment, lack of capital goods, low level of GDP, change in the pattern of the demand, and the limited role of the public sector. So these are the features of industrial sector at the eve of